Hi, I'm Patrick, and on this video I'm going to show how to download, install, set up, and operate OpenYS, the open source YSFHQ console server for YSFHQ made by Officer Flake. Okay, the first thing you need to know is that OpenYS is not an open source version of YSFHQ, which probably isn't going to happen for a very long time. OpenYS is in fact this: OpenYS open source server. This is a specific program created by Officer Flake to make it easier to run a server for YSFHQ. It has features that are not present in the version of the console server that comes with YSFHQ when you download it. It is created completely open source by Officer Flake for the community. I've been using this for over 2 years, ever since some of the early versions started becoming stable enough to use. This version right here, you can see the date is 2016, November 23rd. It's version 2054. This is not the version you'll get if you go to the first page on the YSFHQ website and click the download link. You have to dig through, and I will show where to find it. Okay, here we are at the YSFHQ website. Notice I'm in add-ons, add-on releases, third-party programs. That is where you'll find the topic for OpenYS, the open source YSFHQ server made by Flake. He is actually currently working on OpenYS version 2. There's a topic about it as well, but in my opinion it is not ready for use. On the other hand, the version I'm going to show you is ready and it works well. It is stable and it has no problems as far as memory usage, and it works. It just works. In this topic you'll see he's posted some things that are hidden behind some spoiler bars. He has information about how to use. You will need Microsoft.NET 4.0 framework or newer. The version I'm going to show will work on Windows as far back as Vista, at least, probably XP. This is just some legal information you may be interested to know. You can find out more about this for yourself, though. Okay, this is where you will find the version of OpenYS that I currently use. This is, in my opinion, the most stable version. You can see that it says don't download if you're using the current OYS versions. I disagree with that. Once you get there, you will go to this link and you will download it to your desktop. My internet is being slow tonight. There it goes. It's not a very large file. It goes fast. Oh, and I've got a message here I need to take care of. Okay, so I just showed the first couple of commands right there, how to set the time and turn the day-night cycle off. Okay, so this is the folder that OpenYS is in. You can see it has a Z there. It's a zip file. easy to get. And I'm just going to open it. So there it is. Then you can click on it and drag it over to the desktop. It opens up. So this is what it looks like on the first page of the folder. You can see the version 2054 alt. Okay, some folders in there include auto messages. Let's look at that. There's the end login and there's the start login. This is the message that when you join or somebody else joins YSFHQ and joins this server, they will get this message. They'll say, "Welcome to OpenYS, logging you in now, please wait." It will count down or count up 10%, 20%, all the way to 100%, and then it will show the end login message, which says, "Please enjoy your stay, more information," and tells the link to OpenYS. You can change those to any custom statement that you would like. I'm going to show you my actual start login. You can see I've made a custom statement welcoming people to my server. And then when they finish logging in, I used that file to show the rules of the server. I've still got the information about using IRC. I don't use that anymore. Don't recommend it because of the fact that somebody can send a special symbol through IRC that will crash the server. There's a logs libraries. There's also schedulers and sequencers. I don't use those very much. They are more levels of customization that I'm really not going to get into. So let's open up the settings GUI. You can see, and this is how it opens. It opens in a small window that you can barely read, but you can expand it. And then you can expand this so you can read those. Let's go through it. First, administrator password, admin password. You can make a password so that other users can log into the server with the admin password from inside YSFHQ and have admin powers. Don't use that very often, but I have a few people who are trustworthy enough to use it if it's needed. You can set enable mid-air refueling, true or false. Always use it. That's one of the great features of OpenYS is mid-air refueling. It's not exactly realistic if you fly behind a plane with enough fuel on board and they turn that on and you turn it on, you can receive the fuel from that airplane. Enable smoke, notifications for joining and leaving flights, spawn chocks. That means that the brakes are automatically set on when you spawn your airplane. Probably ought to be false. I've got it turned on mine, and I need to change that. Bike count is one. Okay, this is IRC information. Like I said, I don't use it. You can. I don't recommend changing any of these. This is where you would change the map. So you can change the map from Hawaii to Let's see, what map should we change it to? Trying to let's just leave it away. You have to type in the exact name of a map that you have installed for that to work. So that's why I'm not going to do that. Netcode you don't change. Send welcome message, percent notification, login complete notification, welcome message again. I'm not sure since I'm not sure. Oh, the first one sends the start login. The second sends the end login. This right here though is important. This is where you set the location of your YSFHQ add-ons. And if you're using the stock folder that if you run the YSFHQ setup that automatically installs YSFHQ for you, that is the default location for YSFHQ. If you're using a different location, like for example, and let's go back to this is where I have YSFHQ installed. You can see you can go to the folder where you have YSFHQ installed, right click on that and do where is it? There you go. Copy address as text. Then you can go here, delete that, Control V to paste, and there you go. Now it's set to point to my YSFHQ, and you can do that for wherever you have your YSFHQ. If you are using YSFHQ in the default location, you don't have to change that. Okay. Then you have things from launch bombs from guns. That makes a mess of things. Let's leave that as false. Allow grounds, that allows ground objects. Of course you want that. A list of users, you can type in a command and get a list of users who are on the server at the time. You can change the name that, for example, when I type something, you can see that it calls me YSFHQ. That's where you set that. It's right here. You can set that anything you want. That will be your name when you send a message from the console. Pretty much everything else here is pretty obvious. Setting collisions means that collisions are either on or off by default. You can send an owner email and name. I don't bother with it. Nobody has access to that I know of. You can set the OpenYS scheduler name. You can set the host address. That pretty much needs to stay the same. The host port. All this stuff pretty much stays the same. Now you can turn missiles and unguided weapons on and off here. That doesn't always work. In fact, I don't think it works at all. I have not had much luck with getting weapons turned off. Down here, you can change weather patterns, day length, 96. What that means is every 96 minutes, a day-night cycle goes by. And it says it's like as if 24 hours passes. It'll go from whatever time you have it set at it'll just start counting through the clock, around the clock. You can enable fog colors so that the fog is more than just gray. You can make it different colors. I try not to mess with any of these because these are all pretty good as they are. And down here you can variable weather, the wind, and the visibility will change over time. I keep that as false. I like to keep the wind where it is. For fog, 20,000. That's 20,000 meters. That's about 10 miles. I think it's actually more like 12 miles. I'm not really sure about that, but that's 20 kilometers. The time, you can set that anytime. It's on a 24-hour clock, so that's why a while ago I set the time to 16:30. The wind is a little more complicated because you have the X, Y, and Z. I actually find it is easier to set the wind from inside the console. So let's look at the console. To get a list of commands, you can do / commands. And then you can do commands. Let's say ADV weather. And there are the commands under that category. You can do commands chat, commands flight, and these are some commands that can be used when flying in YSFlight on the server. This too. Most of these moderation and advanced weather and chat commands, well, not the chat commands, but the advanced weather, the moderation, and replay and weather are mostly for the server host to use to customize the server. You can change your name. Okay. There's racing built in. All of these things are so complicated that it's hard to explain everyone. Like just racing could have its own video. I've never once used the replay command. I don't even know what they do. And weather, this is the big one. Okay, in weather, you can enable the blackout, enable collisions, enable fog. Let's say you want to change the fog. Just to check the fog, you type in / fog. It's currently 20 kilometers. Let's set it to 22 kilometers. There you go. To change time. I've already showed how to change time. Right, like that. To change the wind, I do not suggest using wind X, wind Y, and wind Z. I suggest using just wind. And if you check the wind, you'll see that wind is currently calm. I'm going to change the wind. Okay, let's say we want it to come from the east at 4 knots. Now, normally that would be 09004. That would be from 90 degrees at 4 knots. But since YS flat is backwards, you would instead do 270 because it's going towards heading 270 and 04. Now, here's the interesting thing. It says wind set to 270 at 04. Let's check wind. 090 at 04 knots. Okay, so if the wind is coming from the east, you would type in the heading for the west. Turbofan is making a comment in the chat there. Okay, so that's how you change the weather. Now, to just check the weather, you can just type, and that just shows the weather. You can see the time is 16:25. Wind is from 090 at 04 knots. Visibility is 22 kilometers. That's how you check the weather. In my opinion, the weather settings and the time settings are the most important parts of OpenYS. They're what the ability to change those things, as Turbofan says, on the fly, pun intended. The ability to change those things as the server is operating is what sets it apart from the stock console server that comes with YS flat. You can change day-night cycle to any. Let's say you want 24 hours to pass by in 24 minutes, 1 hour per minute. You would just do day-night cycle 24, and that's what would happen. So those kinds of settings are what I like about OpenYS. And it's like I said, the racing works most of the time. Going back up here to some of the commands that you can use when you're flying, you can use the immortal. Let's say you're flying a civilian airplane and somebody comes along and tries to shoot at you. You can type in /immortal and they won't be able to shoot you down. So these are things that you can't do in the stock YS flat console server. Let's see if anybody says bye. When you get ready to open OpenYS, you go to OpenYS server mode. That's very important. Do not use client mode. Use server mode. That will open the OpenYS server console. Okay, this has been a video that I've been wanting to make for a while. I hope that it helps everyone who was wanting to know how to use OpenYS to run a server for YS Flat on their own computer. If it has, let me know below in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.